Jack drives his spade deep into the hard, cold forest earth. His father in red plaid joins the dig. They lay wood, turning dirt into a survival plan. Jack digs deep, carving a foundation strong enough to withstand nature's fury. Thick logs now cage the site. Father clears loose topsoil, exposing bare bedrock ready for the weight to come. The father stops the dirt floor, compacting earth into a solid shield to eliminate hidden air pockets. Massive concrete slabs are hauled into the frame. Jack tests each one with his full body weight, locking them into the soil to create an unyielding subbase that defies the shifting forest ground. Jack mixes the gritty cement, turning raw aggregates into a thick mortar that binds their vision together. He drags a straight edge to level the wet mix, creating a smooth base for the bricks. Jack spreads thick clay and sets the first red brick. This anchor point is critical. If it fails, the oven's curved geometry collapses. Jack taps the bricks into place. His father uses a hammer and chisel to split a brick with precision, ensuring the oven's perfect curve. The father sets a spirit level on the wall, making tiny adjustments to ensure perfect alignment before laying more bricks. At the corner, Jack rests on the fresh brick's face, dirty from a hard morning. His eyes shine with excitement for this long-awaited project. Jack gestures wildly at the structure, crediting his father's hard work. They are building a wilderness pizza oven together. In the wood that are okay as long as it cooks a pipe. Jack sets a brick while his father works this base as their true father-son project. Focusing on the foundation today, the father grabs a rusted rebar grid salvaged from a past build to reinforce the heavy concrete slab. He lifts the steel mesh, its rigid squares framing the jungle light. This hidden muscle will keep the oven ceiling intact under extreme heat. He drops the grid into place, patting it down with confidence tied edge to edge. This steel web ensures the concrete above stays solid. The father shows that building in stages is key. Stacking bricks to fast squeezes, wet mortar out, dooming the base. They heave plywood over the brick walls. Jack shifts it to save an offcut, proving every scrap is vital in the deep woods. Jack drives his shovel into the thick brown slurry. The rhythmic squell checks as he transforms dust and water into the oven's lifeblood. He lowers the steel grid into the mud, centering it for maximum strength. Jack tips the wheelbarrow, dumping wet concrete into the frame. His father stands by with a trowel, ready to spread the load and remove air voids. Kneeling, the father sweeps his trowel in relentless arcs, forcing the mix deep to compact it around the steel until the surface gleams. Aim. A bumblebee dives into the wood chips amidst the roar of industry. It navigates the drought-stricken floor, a quiet reminder of the fragile ecosystem they build within. The tape measure snaps, taut across the bricks. They lock in the 140 mark, penciling tangent points to carve a circle from rigid stone. Jack draws a steady arc across the bricks, guided by his father. This line maps the perfect circle for the oven's hearth. The final brick locks into place, completing the seamless circular hearth. The father checks the final brick against the curve. In this craft, one mistake means that dome won't close. The steel saw cuts the final bricks with the last pieces locked. The hearth stands complete. The saw slices through dense brick. He wedges the cut piece into the ring, tapping it tight against its neighbor. The father points to the screws holding the wooden arch. He explains how they prevent the formwork from springing apart, crucial for the dome's shape. He jokes about cementing the screws shut, a wry nod to their DIY reality where brute force ensures the structure holds. Wiping sweat from his brow, Jack looks up at the blistering canopy. The mercury hits 35 degrees C, turning the woodland into a suffocating sauna. The cracked earth tells a grim story. 2 months without rain have triggered an official drought and host pipe ban, forcing them to scavenge every drop to keep the mortar from turning to dust. Issue to do that. I wonder how many bricklayers are there choking on their coffee at the moment, watching each other. Watch it in man, so maybe he warns deers to always wear gloves. The cement is caustic and will severely sting your eyes if you rub them. The father taps a brick into place. Jack jokes at his pure guesswork, laughing at their amateur attempt to build a perfect arc. Jack admits the absurdity of forcing rigid bricks into a flawless circle, a geometric paradox bending the rules of masonry. He holds a rectangular brick against the curve, noting the clash of straight edges and the domes. We've never done this. This before we've laid a few bricks, but we're not like experts. Jack is determined to reach 200 degrees C, aiming to match the heat of their home oven. This would prove their wild experiment works. Jack traces the layers, noting each course of brick and mortar demands its own curing time. It is a grueling marathon of patience. Jack notes his father's heavy hand with the mortar, using far more than necessary to bind the bricks. The father insists his thick joints ensure permanence. Jack smirks, recalling his dad's all-or-nothing approach to glue and paint. Watching his father lay bricks triggers a flashback. Jack recalls playing football in the garden at age 8. Was probably what? No. It's just your standard sort of football. I don't know. Size 4, size 5, and I'm linking to this. The amount of mortar Dad uses the amount of smoke. Jack recalls that childhood memory, a flat football in the garden, and his dad eagerly taking charge to pump it up. Jack notes his dad ignores E-limits just as he now disregards the mortar mix. The football swelled until its padding burst outward, prompting his dad to ask if it was really meant for an 8-year-old. Stuck in goal as dads inevitably do, young Jack braced for the incoming barrage from a man who clearly understood no concept of moderation. When his father unleashed a thunderous strike with the overinflated sphere, it didn't just sting Jack's hands, it nearly shattered the old man's own ankle upon impact. The inevitable climax arrived on the lawn. The rock-hard football violently exploded, its inner bladder bursting from the leather casing. Decades later, Jack notes his father still overdosed things. The old craftsman simply shrugs, insisting, "But it will stick. But when I'll put too much..." In the sweltering heat, Jack packs wet clay tightly, while his father meticulously reinforces the brick joints below. Wearing yellow ear defenders, the father focuses on smoothing the brick surface while Jack wipes sweat and inspects the work. Jack reveals the black metal flue using a sliding damper to precisely control the oven's airflow. Jack slides the flue into the dom's apex as his father ensures it stays plumb and centered. True to form, his father packs a thick glob of mortar around the flue base, sealing it with an unbreakable bond. Jack steps back to admire the flue now locked in place. This marks a major leap forward for the oven's ventilation system. He adjusts the lever to control airflow, opening or sealing the baffle to feed or choke the fire. Jack brings out a thermometer with a 30-centimeter probe intended to be embedded deep in the brickwork. Sitting in direct woodland sunlight, the red needle rapidly climbs past 50 degrees C. The blistering heat forces a retreat. The sun is too fierce, so they decide to call it a day.
Hitting the 30s.
On the ground, steel clangs as his father wields a heavy hammer and chisel, splitting solid red bricks into precise halves. Sparks fly as he uses the angle grinder powered by the jackery to slice through the brick with precision. He packs the joints with fresh mortar, tapping each brick into alignment as he completes the final arc of the chimney base. Jack says the final thick slab, peeling back rough bark to reveal the stunning natural grain of the ash wood. Holding the timber, he traces the oven's arch with chalk, mapping out the perfect fit for the custom door. The high-pitched whine of the jigsaw shatters the forest quiet as Jack follows the chalk line, carving the heavy wood into a flawless sweeping arch that matches the brickwork perfectly. Together they heave the freshly cut wooden door into the archway, watching it slide into place with a satisfying snug friction that seals the front of the kiln. It's not because we Jack strips the rough bark from a naturally curved branch, revealing the smooth pale wood underneath for a comfortable grip. Holding up the finished L-shaped handle, he aligns it with the center of the ash door and drives the drill through the wood, locking the rustic pull into place. Screwed tight from behind, Jack lifts the door by its new handle and carries it to the oven. Set in the brick arch, the raw timber contrasts with gray masonry. In the oven, a striking look. Jack spreads his arms to reveal the finished structure, his pride clearly overshadowing the exhaustion in his voice. He runs his hand over the thick door milled from the massive ash tree that crashed through their camp. He fits the door, noting it won't seal airtight, but it traps radiant heat well for Rusty. Jack points to the pizza of influ, which is cemented firmly at the top and features a side damper blue. That's how I clean that. They just knocked it down. It's just us to take. But it's still gonna. It's Jack embraces the rustic wonky charm, proving imperfection its soul to their wilderness kitchen. Jack reveals a fun fact: these bricks are over a century old, adding deep history to the build. Yeah, at least Yeah, the old house that you sort of saw, a nice bit of history that we're keeping in the pool and family. And his father chimes in, revealing he's hoarded these bricks for 30 years, grinning as he celebrates his favorite for letterword free. Jack reveals how he cut the bricks using the Jackery Explorer 1000 to power his tools off-grid. Well, we just used the portable Jacker build. So the next day to the top's still drying. Yep. The next stage, once it's dry, is we can pull all this out. Remember, there's loads of sand. As his dad touches the oven's wooden support, Jack admits, removing them is nerve-wracking, praying the brick dome stays upright. With the dome still curing, Jack says they must wait for part 2 to see if their first fire brings a delicious meal or a catastrophic collapse. If you've enjoyed the episode, thanks so much. Wow, listen, I just been recently trout fishing in the heat wave we're having. And I came home with the tour returned an empty string, which means the word count is within range. I can now output the final result plan: set blazing pizza first, then slow cook the rainbow trout. His dad holds up the huge trout, showing it is far too wide to fit inside the oven. Interesting, actually. Maybe we'll do that, and obviously we'll add to it and things like that. So thanks so much for watching. We do appreciate it. Something a little bit different here at the bushcraft camp. Jack gives the old bricks a second life, saving them from rotting away in the yard. Jack gives a final shout out to his dad's channel before signing off. In the description below.